Why do a lot of men want the woman to pursue? I just think that it's hard. It's like, think about it this way. It's for men, it's a challenge to go out there and get what you want in life, let's say. And for you to like put yourself out there is a challenging thing that most men have to like learn and overcome, you know? And if they don't want to date the hardship of the possibility of facing rejection, they'll often just like lean back and just let women approach them, which often hurts them in the long run because it leads to them not getting what they want. And then when they don't get what they want, they then resent the people around them. They hate themselves quietly. And it comes with a whole bunch of issues that manifest in different ways, like drug problems, family-related issues, anger problems, all that stuff. Here's the thing: I'm not so sure that relationships are like the purpose of a relationship necessarily is to just be happy, because happy is such a thing that's up and down. It's just like this. It's like sometimes you'll be happy, other times you'll not be so happy. But oftentimes the unhappy times will sort of propel you to move your life forward. And it's not, and I don't think that people should really be looking at their partners as like this well of happiness, like just this other human exists that because they exist, you can just sort of like poke and say, make me happy. I want to be happy. Be the person that's responsible solely for my happiness. So I'm not so sure that just having a person necessarily makes you happy by default. I do think though that having a support system will give you some stability that can help you feel more at ease with life. And then those things are what you should look for. I'm not so sure that if it depends, unless they're causing you unhappiness directly, like some sort of abusive situation or something like this, then yeah, you should leave that person. But if it's not that, maybe the unhappiness is coming from yourself. You know? I don't know your situation though. Family wants to send me abroad to start new branch for company. Girlfriend is mad about it. What now? Well, family first. The key statement that you made there, which is important, is that you're saying it's your girlfriend. Okay? If she was your wife, or whatever. But girlfriend, yo, I gotta run my family's empire. I have to go to college. I have to whatever. Your girlfriend is just your girlfriend. Okay? And if she was your wife, she'd go with you. Consider these things. Oftentimes you guys will be your girlfriend is not gonna be in your life that much longer fucking anyways. You're gonna have more girlfriends. So I don't know. It depends on how serious you are, I guess. But the reality of it is that girlfriend is just girlfriend. It's temporary. So unless you see yourself getting married to her, she should move with you. Question. Dating a gentleman who has started to repeat my phrases when we disagree. I find it icky. What do you mean your phrases, Katrina? What do you mean by that? What phrases is he repeating? I'm curious. What do you mean by that? What are the qualities you look for in a woman? I just did that one. Do you have veneers? No, I had braces when I was a kid, the wire kind. He won't make it official after 8 months of talking. Yeah, it just depends on person to person. Some people have this big grand gesture about making things official or not. Other people sort of ease into things. I'm not so sure that making official is that important. If you guys are together, you guys are happy with together, why ruin it with ceremony? You ever think about that? Sometimes people have avoidant attachment personalities where they like you, but they have a real hard time with like grand gestures or ceremony things. And that could be like an issue forever. But the way I see it is like, why does that matter that much? You guys are seeing each other from time, on and on. Why not just be happy with that? Aaliyah, it's been 7 years. It's been 7 years for what? We are together and happy. Yes. Haha. Thank you. He even told me already that he loves me, etc. Yeah, there you go. Where are you located? I'm in Beverly Hills. Do you believe in dating multiple people at a time? If you're single and dating, you should be dating multiple people at a time. If you're single and dating, you're not married, and you're dating around, it's probably in your best interest to date around until you have a firm commitment in your life. You should date around, because otherwise people will string you along, waste your time. That's going to happen. So, you got to be a bit self-serving until there's a commitment, right? Otherwise, you're going to what? Date one person and then hope that they'll, I don't know, pan out. Meanwhile, you're wasting maybe years of your life. I don't know. But I do think that until you're married, you don't owe anybody anything. Until you have a serious, committed, monogamous relationship, you don't owe anybody fucking anything. So should you date multiple people? Of course you should. What does a woman need to possess to stand out aside from beauty? Well, beauty comes first. So don't like sweep that under the rug. All right. If you guys want successful men, they want pretty women. They didn't work that hard to get ugly women. You want pretty women. So you don't just say, oh, aside from that, just make sure that you're very pretty first. The prettiest as you can be. All right. Present yourself well. That's just with anything. You're not going to go to a job interview looking disheveled, right? Go into dating in the same sort of way. Put your best self forward, and if that means putting a brush through your hair, teasing those eyebrows, light beat on your face, whatever. Just take the time to make sure you look your best. The end, that's all. Don't sweep that under the rug. It's very important. Present yourself well to the world, okay? Shave your legs, that sort of thing. That being said, if after that, you've sort of already made those introductions, they like what they see and they want to get to know you or whatever, then just be polite, nice, accommodating, be sweet, be interested. All those things will help you dramatically in dating, I promise you. Subtle plastic surgery, a turn off. No, if it looks good. Some people look a little bit better with it. It depends. I've known girls that got nose jobs that needed nose jobs, and they look great. So, if it looks good, it looks good at the end of the day. It's an art, though. Let's see. Sometimes I like to look disheveled. Sometimes I like to look disheveled. Sometimes I like the outside to match the inside. Okay. Well, whatever. I just find it odd and unattractive because I'm very feminine and it reflects back to me as feminine. Well, that's the thing, man. Once you get the ick, it's over. You got to live like that forever. Ugh. So if that's how you want to do. How do you not feel anxious over a guy not replying for a few days? I don't think you can. If you like a guy and they're not replying to you, you're going to be nervous. Guys feel the same way too, by the way. If they hit up a girl and they don't respond, or because they're busy in a gym, therapy, sauna, I don't know, wherever they're at, and they don't reply, the guys are like, ugh, what is it, So don't feel bad. But if you guys replied in a few days, that ain't great. My advice to you is just date other guys. Yoga, yeah, exactly. Been dating someone a month. He told his friends, therapist, family about me. Whoop. Thoughts on that? Claudia, just because a man tells you that he tells his friends, therapist, and family about you doesn't mean anything. Oftentimes, guys will just say that kind of dumb shit just to make you think that it's going somewhere, but then y'all break up in a month, or he's got a girlfriend on the side, or some crazy shit like that. So I wouldn't write home about that. It's not like a conversation you need to have with your mother. It's just guys just sort of say things sometimes because they think it's going to make you feel better. So just grain of salt. Doesn't it make someone shallow to only treat conventionally attractive people properly? Well, Kai, nobody, including myself, has ever said to treat people that are considered unattractive or conventionally unattractive improperly. Nobody suggested that. Just saying if you're going to date, you're going to want the person that would want to date you to find you attractive. If the person that's dating you and doesn't find you attractive, that's a scary notion, right? If you meet somebody and that man doesn't find you attractive, he's got an ulterior motive, all right? He wants to know what your credit score is. He wants to move in, all right? He wants to get you to co-sign on a car note or some shit. He must find you attractive, all right? So if he finds you unattractive but is still dating you, that person is using you. That's a con person, con artist, all right? So you want them to be attractive to you, okay? Do you think women should be chased? I think, I don't know about chased, but pursued, sure. I don't think that women should play games because of that. But I think that, a healthy amount of pursuit is good. A healthy amount of reluctance from women is good. And if there's no reluctance, that's strange. If they don't pursue you at all, that's indicative of their character. So you should have a little bit of both. How do I show interest without looking desperate? Just message them. Y'all online anyways. Hey, I think you're cute. You want to meet up? And girls have that convenience. You can just do that. And then if you're pretty, like I've been saying, the guy finds you attractive, he's going to reply. Ta-da! Now you should be a bit more reserved in public. But online, easy. Well, the thing is if you got, here's the thing, millennial cat mom, Maggie. Here's the thing, Maggie. If you already started as a casual fling, the only way you can be looked at as something a little more serious than that, and this is a long shot because I think that bridge has already been crossed, but you could just, yoink it from them. No more, I'm looking for something serious. I don't want to do this anymore. Whoop, and stop being available. And then watch that man, if you're one of his women that he's seeing, or the only woman he's seeing that he's seeing sort of even conveniently, he'll go, oh no, I want to see you. No, it's not. I want more from you. You got to take it from him, Maggie. Take it from him. Say, no, I don't want to do this anymore. I'm looking for something serious. It's not going to be with you, so I can see that. What? That's the only way. And then he'll either confess his undying love or he won't. And then he's just saving you some precious fucking years. Anyways, so do that. Okay, so should you be concerned if he's connecting with random girls online, like his Instagram? Here's the problem with some of you women, is that you're just looking at his following every day. You see when, somebody, I don't know if you guys are dating famous people or whatever that wouldn't have a big following or are not following a lot of people. But if you're checking his following and it's going from 137 to 138 and you're like, wait, who? And then you see the top of that list and some girl, you're like, oh, wait a second. Boop, and you click that and she sees she's pretty and following him back and you guys freak out. You're freaking out. I think that you're not busy enough, Gabby. Don't worry necessarily about, maybe worry about it, but not for a while. If he's still coming home to you at night, just because he's following a pretty girl, she's following him back, maybe there's some cause for concern. I'll be like, yo, who's Gabby? What's up? Maybe. And if he freaks out and says, oh, you're being too up in my space, or you're overthinking it, it's just some girl I find pretty online, and she's following him back, he's DMing that girl for sure. You should just be busier in your life in general so you don't have to live with the anxiety of checking their fucking following every day. But if he starts following girls online, they following him back. He's got no business knowing these people. They don't work, they're not in the same industry or line of work or something. There might be something going on there. But I don't necessarily think it's healthy for you, Gabby, to be like, who's following you now? I see you went up a follower. How do you know this person? You're doing that all the time. That insecurity just comes out and it's so poisonous. If you're already feeling like that, the relationship's over anyways. It's just a matter of time at this point. I would just, check a healthy amount, but don't be all over it. But if he's following people and they're following him back, he's up in them DMs with I mean, maybe, I don't know. Maybe, Gabby, you know what? Maybe he's just DMing these girls and they're following him back and DMing them back. And maybe they're just trying to organize Bible study. You give them the benefit of the doubt, Gabby. Because what else could they be talking about? Maybe it's a godly thing. Maybe he just wants to get together and they want to pray. Either they're going to get together for Bible study and pray, or somebody's going to be saying, oh, Jesus, either way. So I don't know, Gabby. I don't know. Don't let it eat you up inside. But they're following each other back. Maybe get to the bottom of it. Russ, when is your... Okay, hang on. Russ, when's your birthday? October 2nd. Do you... Whoop. Wait, hang on. What if he's offering to buy some girl online things? Not my situation, but I saw it. If a guy's buying girl stuff online stuff, like subscribe to her page or just buying her gifts or whatever, let's say. Given the opportunity, that man's going to cheat on you with that girl. But oftentimes, if he is buying something for a stranger he is online, that he sees online, he's never going to get a chance to cheat with you on that girl, so you're safe, sis. Don't worry. If he's buying her something from her Amazon wish list, you can rest assured that that woman is never going to sleep with that man. So you're safe. Don't worry about it. But then you have to live with the fact that you now have to have the ick for a guy that buys stuff for random girls online. Because that's fucking gross. If your man's doing that, rest assured he's not cheating, but also you get to live with the fact that your man's gross. Ta-da! So pick your poison, sis. Could be worse. That sounds a lot worse even than... It sounds worse. Let's put it this way. If the guy is able to pull the hot girl that you're worried about, I think that's better. That's better than him buying her stuff from her Amazon wish list. Because that's icky. You know? So like if he's... It's almost better that he's like, he can go and get a baddie and actually pull. Then you're like, damn, my man's got it like that. Because the alternative is that he buys her stuff for the wish list in hopes that she's going to be like, oh, well, thank you so much. You want to get up? That's worse. You got to agree that's worse. So, if he's buying stuff on the wish list, he ain't sleeping with her. Let's put it that way. When in a relationship and both people are working, should the bills be split? Well, it just depends on your dynamic, right? So I was raised by a single mother. My mom had to provide for us herself. You know, and that's just the way it was. But she was a single mom, so she had her kids whom she was responsible for. So it wouldn't really matter if she was seeing a guy or not that had means. She herself, because she was a single mother, bore the responsibility of her kids no matter what. She's not looking necessarily for a man to come in and save the day. She's like, no, I got these kids. These are my responsibility. I'm going to do what I got to do to survive and thrive even and for my kids. And she did that, which is great. But then... She, later in her life met a man with means, but she still continued to have her businesses that would work, and she'd make money that way. And she did that despite the fact that he made enough money to support the whole family himself, right? But she kept going because she always had in the back of her mind that, well, it might not pan out with this man because I've been through a divorce once before, right? So she kept working. So that was sort of her motivation. And because she had her and then her two kids, and now in this household with this other man, she still was able to provide for her kids and didn't need the man at all. And that was like a personal motivating goal. Now, but I don't think that detracts or takes away from like the trad wife thing or women that want to be like stay-at-home moms or whatever. That's perfectly viable too. And especially if you have the money, even in today's marketplace economy, whatever. If your man has the money to provide for the family and prefers that his wife stays at home with and raise his kids, that's a good deal too. It's a good deal too. But you would know as a woman, especially if you have kids, if you're divorced once, you know the impermanence of things and how things might not work out. And oftentimes women don't want to put themselves in a position where they're like, if something in the relationship happens where it goes south, I now can't provide for my family. That's not dope. So there's nothing wrong with either of those scenarios. Me personally, I think I don't have kids, but I do want kids eventually. But one day I think that it would be better for me, I think, to have just a woman at home, stay-at-home mom. This is better for me. But I can afford it, but not everybody can, so I understand the difference. Stephanie says, where is the best place to meet a secure man that isn't intimidated by strong, successful women? Guys that are successful typically aren't intimidated by successful women. Okay, but oftentimes women confuse being a strong woman with being argumentative, and they'll say, "Oh, I'm a strong woman, and I'm very, strong, opinionated woman, whatever." And then, I don't back down, and those are characteristics, like very masculine characteristics. So women will go like, "Oh, I'm strong and independent. I don't need a man." Attitude, which then is off-putting that can be off-putting to a man, and when a man just really wants a woman to be feminine, and they don't care that you're successful or make money either. That's the other thing. Men don't care about how much money women make, typically. And if they do care about how much money you make, you better run. There's something wrong. If a man wants to know what your credit score is, a man wants to know how much money you make, there's something wrong with that man. They're looking to have you as their mother or pay their bills or something. That's no good. So a man doesn't care about how much money you make. And also, by the way, a man will marry the waitress. They don't care at all. The man cares about, is he attracted to you? Are you feminine and supportive and just a generally upbeat, good girly woman, agreeable woman? They don't want a person who's argumentative. They don't want a person who's sassy in the bad way. There can be an endearing version of sassy. I don't mean that. I mean like argumentative by their nature. So women that are tough on the exterior, act masculine in their frame, and then make a lot more money than the man. That's not something that men want. Those are masculine traits, you see? Now, I say that being raised by a single mother. My mother made more money than most, but she was also an assertive, go-getter, get-out-there type. And it takes a man that makes a lot more money than that and is much more secure to be able to handle that reality. But my mom was also sweet and agreeable. So she wasn't like strong and opinionated, combative. So you got to be very careful about that verbiage, you see. You want it. High-value men want a pretty nice woman. A sweet, nice, agreeable, pleasant to be around. Not argumentative and disagreeable. So just make sure when you're saying I'm a strong, independent woman or whatever, you're not confusing that with being argumentative and combative with a man. Because no man wants that. It doesn't matter how much money they make. But especially the ones that make a lot of money. Okay? Can I rekindle something that fizzled out a few months ago? Whoop. Can I rekindle something that fizzled out a few months ago? We had a schedule conflict for the third date. Yeah, that's a big one for me, Sachi. Like, I don't really have a lot of time, especially for other people, So, like, with me, like, you get one. And it needs to be relatively, like, for a great reason. Like, if I invite you out one time, because I'm almost like, God, do I even have time for this? That's my first thought. And then it's like, hey, you know what? I can't tonight. And I'm like, okay, well, thank you. You just saved me a whole lot of energy and time. And then it's just never going to happen again, very likely. I'm not doing that shit again. Because mine's a whole thing. This actually happened to me kind of recently. Not the very recently, not on Tuesday, but there's a person I invited out to a thing. I was like, hey, I'd like to see you again, whatever. And then she was like, yeah, okay, let's do it, whatever. Let's do it this day. Fine. I'm like, okay, great. She lives wherever she lives. I'm like, so I'm just gonna I have a driver, like not like an Uber, I have a driver with an armored car, with white glove service. Will come and pick you up. We're a driver for Mr. Hartley. His name's Mike. He's great. And he's just my guy. Pick you up in a sick-ass, tricked-out Escalade. This guy drives for Drake. It's a sick-ass driver. He's so cool. He's right. He knows everything I need him to know. He comes to our house. He'll pick you up. He'll bring you to the place where it's all just taken care of. There's always a table for me, and there's always a thing. It's a whole thing. So I've set up this whole thing. Paid the driver. I always pay the driver whether the thing happens or not. Pay the driver. It's all done. And then like in 2 hours before, I get one of those like, whoops, hang on. Like 2 hours before I get one of those, hey, sorry, I can't tonight, let's reschedule. And I'm like, bitch. Like, ain't no way. So I told Mike, say, hey, don't worry about it, it's all good. I paid him anyways. And I went to the restaurant with somebody else. But I'm not calling that girl back. You know what I mean? I was only kind of like, in the first place anyways. But schedule conflict, whatever. Ain't never gonna happen. No thanks. Should women always say no to coffee dates? Should we only accept dinner or something planned? Well, here's the thing. Here's the thing, Maggie. Here's the thing. Coffee dates are iffy. But what if you hate the person? You know, you ever have you're dating, Maggie. Have you ever went on a date with a guy you met online or on Bumble or Tinder or whatever, let's say, and then they show up and they look different? They look like 10 years older, or they just look uglier, or they've got a little bit of a gut going on. You know what I'm saying? Now or their hairline's non-existent now because the picture they took was 5 years ago or something, you know? And then now you gotta sit through dinner, feigning interest for 2.5 hours. And then he's got that breath, you know, and he's gonna lean in for the kiss anyways, you know. Do you really want to be trapped in that prison for 2.5 hours? Ugh. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? You see what I'm saying? So like, if you're meeting them online, coffee dates oftentimes don't go anywhere fine, but maybe a casual drink first is better. You can be in and out of there in 30 minutes. Boom, gone. They show up worse. The commitment is low. But dinner's like a whole thing. You got to take an everything shower, you know. You gotta put a comb through your hair. You gotta beat your face. You gotta call your mom. You gotta have a glass of wine while you're doing your makeup. You know, you gotta do that whole thing. All right, and then you come in, and then they show up, and it's just like, oh, God. And now that 2.5 hour dinner was really like 7 hours, and then the fake tan or whatever the night before. It's a whole process. And now you're trapped with a guy who's a lot uglier. So maybe coffee dates are better, right? It's just faster. Well, so maybe just like, let's just hurry up and kind of see. Okay, word. Okay, you know what? Should this coffee date turn into dinner? Should we do lunch right now? Should we get mimosas? Whatever, all right? But at least feel them out in person. Start small commitment and then extend the commitment. Just say it. Might be better. You know, the guys you shouldn't date are the guys that are texting you like this. They text you on a Saturday morning. They go, what's your name again? Sorry, I missed it. Nola. They text you on Saturday morning. So what's the move? Could you imagine a guy just text you on Saturday? So what are your plans for today? What's the move? Where are we going? Oh no, God, that's horrible. And that would be rough. That's still happening today in 2024. It should be a crime. That should be criminal. Straight to jail. What's the move? Hey, what's the move, Nola? Straight to jail. Go directly to jail. You're going into the block list right now. What's the move? Gross. I'm unable to be with a guy with no money. Sorry. Yeah, exactly. Having money it bodes to their character. It means that they're able to be effective in the world and to make money, that sort of thing. What age do you think is too old for a 23-year-old to date? Maturity-wise. Okay, here's the deal. If you are a legal adult that can vote for your local congressman in your district, you can date whatever age man you want to. And who cares? You think anybody's gonna care? If you're 31 and your husband's 44, do you think anybody cares? They don't. As long as it's legal, if you're paying your taxes, you voted for the mayor, you can ride whatever carousel you want to, okay? Nobody cares, sis. Date who you want. I would say my advice to you as a 23-year-old woman is to date a man who's a little bit older and has his life figured out, because there's nothing more useless than a 23-year-old man, let me tell you. They don't know shit, even about themselves, where they're going, nothing. So if you want to deal with that topsy-turvy roller coaster and end up with nothing in 5 to 10 years, date a 23-year-old man. My advice is date older, and you have a sense of, where things are going. Why do you think men can be uptight with money / supporting their partner in relationships, trust issues. It depends on what you mean by partner, okay? So if it's just some girlfriend that you've been kind of dating for a week or two, maybe he's a bit weird about supporting her. But if it's wife and mother of his kids, if he's acting weird about that, there's something wrong with him, you see? He's saving money for another family he has out in Wisconsin. You get what I mean? So I would say, depending on where you are in your relationship, if he's weird about supporting his family and children, then he's got a girlfriend on the side, for sure, that he's got to afford, for sure. Do you recommend using dating apps? Sure, in your area. Yeah, if you, thing is that people don't really get out much like they used to anymore. It's like a thing, like it's hard to get out of your house. You can Uber Eats everything. It's all sort of just served to you. You know, I barely leave my house anymore, truly. And so, you know, if you're not going out a lot, what else are you supposed to do? Dating apps are great. And by the way, that's what everybody else thinks too. So a lot of people are flocking to dating apps. So there's nothing wrong with dating apps. It's just, there's just so many options and there's so much deception on dating apps. It's just a problem. You just have to learn how to have a good filter for it. And then, yeah, you can meet people on dating apps. I know people that are like dead ass together because they met on a dating app, and that's just how it is now. Okay, listen, guys, that's it. That's a wrap. We've been on for an hour. It's time for me to go. See you guys next time. Add me on Instagram, and you'll see when I do my next live stream. Okay, thanks everybody for joining me. It's been a blast. We'll see you again soon. Bye.